Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be comparing the brand new LG G5 with the last year's flagship phone from LG, the LG G4. Now before we start this comparison guys, let's quickly go through the basic core specs on both the phones. On the LG G5 we have the Qualcomm quad-core Snapdragon 820 chipset along with 4 gigs of RAM, and also this time around we have two cameras at the back of the phone. One of them is a wide-angle lens and the other one is a regular 16 megapixel lens. Also it has a front-facing camera, and also this time around it has a fingerprint sensor which was missing on the LG G4. The power button is also embedded within the fingerprint sensor, so this power button acts as a fingerprint sensor and also used to turn the phone on. The battery size is a 2800 mAh battery, which is smaller in size as compared to the LG G4. So the basic core specs are pretty decent, top of the line with, like I said, 4 gigs of RAM, a Snapdragon 820, and no compromises as far as the basic hardcore specs are concerned. On the LG G4 from last year guys, we have the Snapdragon 808 which was the hexa-core chipset from last year. Also the phone has 3 gigs of RAM and no fingerprint sensor, and only one camera at the back, which was a 16 megapixel camera with the f1.8 aperture. Also, as you can see, the phone also had the laser autofocus, and pretty much the same as on the LG G5 is here at the bottom just underneath the LED flash. Also we have the LED flash on the LG G4 and the power button and the volume rockers at the back, which has been on the LG G phones for G flagship phones for quite a while guys, but this time around LG has taken a slightly different approach and they have the volume rocker on the right hand side of the phone and everything else remains at the back of the phone. So the core specs guys, they were on the LG G4 not the best from last year. The last year's flagship Snapdragon chipset was the Snapdragon 810 because it had heating issues, so LG decided to go for the Snapdragon 828, and even though it's not completely heat free, at times it can get heat up, but mostly it runs fine with no issues. But of the LG G5 that I used so far in the last couple of weeks guys, I've had no heating issues. It does get warm if you're a bit if you're gaming or you're using it for intense use, say a lot of 4G, a lot of video watching. It can get a bit warm though, but not uncomfortably warm. But now that the basic specs are out of the way guys, let's talk about build quality, screen quality, performance, battery life, cameras, speakers, and call quality, and everything else that I can possibly cover in this video. So first of all, let's start off things with build quality. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the LG G4 and its build quality. As you guys know, most of you follow me on YouTube, you must have seen plenty of coverage on the LG G4. I've been discussing the build quality in detail and how did the 10 leather survived all this time ever since last year I had the LG G4. The cover is obviously, back cover is removable guys, as you know. There's a bit of gap here, so you open this up and the back opens up straight away. So now as you can see guys, this is made from plastic actually, but it's been covered with 10 leather. There were plenty of colors that came out. Unfortunately I couldn't get hold of them, but and I seriously thought that the LG G4's back 10 leather case would not survive for more than 6 months, as many of my followers also predicted that it might be the case. But actually in my own experience so far, it has been completely different. Even though the leather has lost its color from around the edges and the corners, but the actual surface area, the back of the case has survived pretty well. It has lost quite a lot of its color, even the white stitching going through across all the way to the very top has also lost its color as well, but still the case is intact. It hasn't broken, no cracks. I did drop it a few times, but no problems whatsoever. So overall it's decent. In terms of being rigid, I would say yes, it's very strong. And even if you intend to buy the LG G4 now based on build quality, you can be rest assured that the phone, even with the leather tan back or any other leather back, will survive for a year at least easily. Obviously depending on how you use it. I'm a bit careful as well, but despite being careful, still it has lost its color, as you can see in the video here guys. But all in all, it's still there, still intact, hasn't broken, so not too bad. Well, as far as the overall build quality is concerned guys, the back case has survived really well, a lot more than I expected, and hasn't been bad so far. But in general, the phone has been rigid. It's not premium like you would expect from say a metal or an aluminum phone, something like for instance the LG G5, which I will discuss in just a moment. But all in all, I think it's not slippery. That's the thing I love about it. The in-hand feel about the G4 is that it's not slippery at all. It's very grippy, and because of the leather tan back and also the stitching, it gives you that extra grip, and the phone doesn't slip. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't put any case ever since I had the LG G4. I wanted to use it without a case, and I can tell you this phone is not slippery at all. And if you want to have a phone without no case, and especially if you're on the LG camp, I'm sure you will enjoy the LG G4. But in general, rigid, solid phone and made to last without any issues. Not premium, but solid and rigid. Okay, now when it comes to LG G5, guys, this is a completely different approach this time around, and they have made this phone from full metal aluminium. Now I have discussed the build quality of the LG G5 in great depth, guys, in my unboxing video about a couple of weeks ago. What I'll do is I'll leave a link down below for you to have a look and see. On the unboxing, I discussed everything in detail about the controversy surrounding the phone, about why they had a gap issue at the bottom, and also this felt more like plastic and not metal. In short, here in this video, guys, I can tell you that the phone is definitely premium, no question about it. But when you actually hold the phone in your hand, it doesn't feel as if it's a premium phone. The build is premium, no question about it. The metal is genuine. Yes, it has been now officially cleared by LG themselves in a press release. So they are actually using genuine metal aluminium, but the coating on top is actually it's called primer. So the primer is the actual coating that they have coated it with, that they have covered it with, and that's why it gives you the feeling of it as if it's plastic. That's the plastic coating on top of the metal aluminum casing, so that they can hide the antennas and people keep on receiving phone signals. Otherwise, you know, with metal, often you see these stripes on top and bottom of the phone where normally the antennas of the phone reside. In order to get over that, LG had to apply a primer coat on top, and hence that's why the antennas are hiding underneath between the metal aluminum casing and the primer applied on top of the surface. But because of that, obviously it's not as premium as you would expect from something like the HTC 10 or the Galaxy S7 or the S7 Edge, but still solid build quality, no major issues. There is one thing which I noted, and which like I said, I did mention it in my video on the unboxing, guys, this modular approach. So you basically open the bottom of the phone, there's a button there, guys. So if you press this button, and the battery comes out. Let me just press it. There you go, and the battery comes out. It's a bit of a, you know, it takes a bit of a pressure, a bit of a force to apply to open it up. I'm not a huge fan of actually removing and putting in this stuff all the time like that, because I reckon in the longer run, removing the battery and attaching different modules to it, and, you know, opening and closing would probably, I think, wear the system down, and you might see that the parts might get a bit loose at the bottom. So I would not actually use the phone with different modules. However, here the option is there. You can always open the battery up, obviously. Like I said, it takes a bit of a while. There we go. Okay, it takes a bit of force, even though I know you've got to open it just like that, but still it requires a bit of force, and I don't find it as comfortable as you would with the normal regular approach from the LG G4. So the battery is removable, obviously, and you can attach different modules. But in my opinion, guys, I think you should not use the Friends with the LG G5 for long-term use, because if you're going to do that, then most likely I think this thing will wear down, and your thingy would probably be a bit loose, and it would give you some build quality issues eventually at some point. Even though it clips in beautifully, no problem, but there, like I said, there's a bit of gap here right at the bottom, guys, as you can see on the right hand side. Even if I do push it a bit, it just clicks in, yes, but still there's a bit of gap left here at the bottom side, which like I said, I showed you in detail. And also it doesn't flush with the bottom. If you see carefully, I'll bring it close to the camera and I will focus this in for you guys. Just give me one moment, guys, and there we go. Now if you see it here, you can probably hear this. It doesn't actually flush with the surface of the bottom, so the metal body doesn't flush with the chin of the phone. That's why you see this. See that? I'm sure you can hear that. This is the gap. So it's not flushing with the actual surface, and this is where you expect a £500 phone to have a bit of premium build quality. Phones like, for instance, like I said, the HTC 10 and also the S7 Edge and the S7 have a premium build quality and attention to detail that you expect from an OEM. So and that's why the price of the LG G5 is going down already, guys, and it will keep on going down, because obviously LG know that they actually messed up a bit in the battery life department. So it's a bit of an issue for those especially who are looking to have a premium phone. Like I said, it is made premiumly, but it doesn't feel as if it's a premium phone, and some issues here at the bottom. But apart from that, in day-to-day use, guys, I don't see it as as much of a problem for majority of the people, and the reason for that is because if you're not going to be changing the modules and you keep using the phone as it is, the in-hand feel is pretty nice. The phone is solid, made to last, and 5.3 Quad HD screen is also an ideal size. In fact, 5.3 could be my new favorite size, to be honest. And if maybe in future, if the price of the phone goes down, I might actually buy the phone. This is, by the way, a review unit, thanks to Clove Technology for sending me one. But if the phone's price goes considerably down, I might actually decide to buy this phone. And like I said, if you're going to buy this phone, I would rather not use the friends or the modules on the LG G5 and use the phone as it is. Now when it comes to cameras, guys, the LG G4 has a 16 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture, a laser autofocus, and also an LED flash. And when it comes to the LG G5, the setup is slightly different from what we had on the LG G4. This time around we have two cameras at the back. One of the camera is a regular 16 megapixel sensor with the same f1 aperture as on the LG G4, and the other lens is a wide angle lens, guys. It's an 8 megapixel camera, I think, if I remember correctly, with an f2.0 aperture. So both lenses are doing their own job, and one of them provides you with a wide angle lens, photo and video, and the other one provides you with a regular photo and regular video. Okay, so now let's quickly go through some sample shoots, guys. I'm gonna use the cameras right now in front of you. I've got here with me my Bose pair of headphones, so this will be our test subject, and we will quickly take some pictures and have a look and see how good the cameras on both the phones are. There we go. So here is my Bose headphones, guys. As you can see, the two dots in the middle, it's auto-focusing straight away. So let's take a few photos. There we go. As you can see, the shutter speed is pretty good, not bad. Even if I press it, decent enough, not bad. So the camera is very good, and those of you who bought the LG G4 from last year, you guys know this already, that the camera on the LG G4 was brilliant and no issues there whatsoever. As you can see, it's doing a pretty good job. The shutter speed is very, very strong, very clear, very fast, no issues here whatsoever. So quite a few photos taken, guys. Now let's quickly go to the photos. As you can see, the quality is top notch without any issues here whatsoever. Even if you go all the way to zoom into Bose, you can see it straight away, even zooming in further. So good, decent quality, no issues here whatsoever. Okay, now when it comes to the LG G5, let's take the same photo, use the fingerprint sensor to unlock it. There we go, the camera comes up really quickly, slightly quicker than the LG G4, and there we go. As you can see, the shutter speed is slightly more quicker than the LG G4 from what I can see. Let's keep it pressed. Very nice. Snapdragon 820 is obviously very fast indeed, no problems here whatsoever. Okay, now let's compare both the photos together. There we go, guys. So let's take a photo, the very first photo from the LG G4. There we go, guys. As you can see, the photo quality on both the phones is actually not too bad. It's decent enough. Let's zoom a bit more in all the LG G4 if we can, all the way, because they're both using the same, obviously, sensor. So we should have the same kind of quality, not too much zoomed in. Let's do it up to a point where we can see the blue border on the headphones as well. So let's have a look and see. So guys, because they're using the same sensor from last year, so as you can see, no difference in picture quality from what I can see. There's a bit of a blue tint on the LG G5. I don't know if you can see that on the camera or not, guys, but in live I can see there's a bit of blue tint still on the Bose logo. Also, if you look at the table's white cloth at the back, it's also a bit bluish as well. So that blue tint unfortunately is actually showing in the pictures as well. And to be honest, because this is the first time I'm actually looking at both of them as far as the cameras are concerned, I think I can spot it now whilst we speak. The blue tint is also present in the photos for some reason. On the LG G4, the blue tint is not present. Okay, let's have a look. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so let's have a look and see. As you can see, if you look carefully, guys, the blue tint on the LG G4 is not as visible. The white cloth at the back is white, whereas the white cloth on the back of the LG G5's photo is a bit bluish. So I think the LG G4's camera probably might be slightly better. Okay, so never mind. Let's now have a look at the wide angle lens. Now this is the regular angle, guys, of the regular camera, 60 megapixel. Let's press this bit here. It gives you a wider angle. There we go. And now let's take a photo. This is shooting obviously at 8 megapixel. The shutter speed is still very good, not too bad, and decent performance. So now let's compare this with a regular photo and see the difference, because the LG G4 is using the same lens, so I would rather compare that with this side by side, both of them. There you go, guys. As you can see, the wide angle lens is giving you far more wider picture as compared to what you're getting on with the regular 16 megapixel lens. So if you are in birthday parties, weddings, guys, out and about in a church or somewhere else, and with lots of people trying to fit in one frame, the LG G5 will definitely serve the purpose. So there it is. I can still see there's a bit of blue tint here on the white cloth here, so I never noticed this, guys. Only when I put it against the LG G4 now as we speak, I can see the blue tint. So this is something not good against the S7 Edge and the HTC. This might actually lose. So I'll be getting my HTC 10, guys, very soon, and I'll be doing the same kind of compare live testing in front of the camera with all these phones, and we'll see how the LG G5 or the LG G4 stands up against the competition. Now, as far as the performance is concerned, guys, we have already gone through the basic specs. Like I said, the LG G5 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 with 4 GB of RAM, and the LG G3 had a Snapdragon 828 from last year along with 3 GB of RAM. But in day-to-day use, keeping aside the hardcore specs, both phones are still performing really well. Obviously, the LG G5 is a new phone, so it's bound to perform good. But despite LG G4 being a year old, still it is going great. No issues. Both are running by the way Marshmallow. Let me just show you very quickly. So you go into settings, and from here, if you go right at the bottom, about phone, and as you can see in the software bit, which is just there we go, and as you can see, guys, it's running Android Marshmallow 6.0, which is the basic Marshmallow. I'm still yet to get the latest security patch level update, guys. Hopefully at some point I will get that and I will let you guys know, but for now it is running Marshmallow 6.0. Now when it comes to LG G5, also this is running 6.0.1, I think, if I remember correctly. There we go. So it's running the slightly more upgraded version of Marshmallow, which is 6.0.1. So this is what is running right now, as you can see in the camera. So as far as the overall performance in terms of software is concerned, guys, they're both running the latest version of Marshmallow, and I tell you what, I have to give credit to LG for making sure that they keep their devices updated. As you can see, the LG G4 from last year and G5 both are running almost the newer version of Marshmallow. So yeah, we got to give them a thumbs up. There are plenty of devices out there from Samsung and from other phones, other phone manufacturers, which are still struggling to keep up with the latest updates. So well done to LG for that. Now as far as the performance is concerned, guys, the LG G4, despite running an hexa-core chipset 808 along with 3 GB of RAM, is performing pretty smoothly. I'm so far very satisfied with the performance. If you're looking to upgrade now, I think LG G4, and if you're trying to save some money on your monthly contract, I'm sure you will enjoy using the LG G4 without any issues. So overall, in my opinion, the performance is still top notch, guys. No issues here whatsoever, and the phone seems to be performing really well without any issues. The camera app opens up as well very quickly, so no issues here whatsoever. Everything is smooth and fine, and with Marshmallow the performance is even more refined with no issues whatsoever. Now when it comes to the LG G5, obviously you do expect a top of the range performance. Snapdragon 820 along with 4 GB of RAM, as you can see in the video, is slightly more quicker than the LG G4. At times there's a bit of a lag here and there, especially if the phone has been rebooted or when it's time to kick off new, but once it gets into the RAM memory, then the performance is solid, pretty much the same as on the LG G4 at times. But all in all, I'm very impressed with the performance on the LG G5 as well, guys. No issues here whatsoever. Performance wise, I'm also a bit happy with the LG G5 that it doesn't heat up as much as the LG G4 was heating up last year. Quite a few of my followers, subscribers from last year, they mentioned about the heating issues. Every now and then my phone does heat up, especially if I'm using 4G LTE or gaming heavily for long sessions. The LG G4 with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 828 still has the tendency to heat up. I'm very happy to report that on the LG G5 the heat management is far much better as compared to the LG G4. I have used the phone very aggressively, guys, in the last few days. I've been gaming, I've been using 4G LTE, Wi-Fi connection, lots of social media, WhatsApp, Google+, Facebook, you name it, and I've done it, taken lots of pictures, videos, and I've been uploading all these videos on my channel, guys, so please do check them out. But I'm very happy to report that the heat management on the LG G5 this time around is way way better as compared to what it was on the LG G4. So thumbs up to LG for making sure that there was no heating issues on the LG G5. Heating is a big issue in major phones, lots of phones these days, and different OEMs are trying to approach it differently. Some are putting in cooling pipes, like for instance the S7 and the S7 Edge. Some are trying to handle it via other means, but I'm happy to report whatever LG have done, they've done really well, whether it's down to throttling or whatever. The handset doesn't heat up. It does get a bit warm though, but it doesn't heat up uncomfortably, and the heat management is way better than when it was on the LG G4. Now, as far as the battery life concerned, guys, I'm pretty sure most of you watching want me to speak on this specific issue. It was a controversial decision by LG this time around, and they went for a smaller battery on the LG G5 as compared to the LG G4. The LG G4 from last year had a 3000 mAh battery with a 5.5-inch Quad HD screen, whereas on the LG G5 now they have a 2800 mAh battery and a slightly smaller screen. So if you look at the battery to screen ratio, it's pretty much the same as it was on the LG G4. Because the screen size is smaller, so the battery is slightly smaller as well. But obviously, as you know, the approach that Samsung has taken this year, they have given big huge batteries to their phones. Like on the S7, which is a 5.1-inch screen phone, you have a huge massive 3000 mAh battery, and similarly on the S7 Edge you have a 3600 mAh battery. So it's a good approach for Samsung. I'm very happy with it. Unfortunately, LG decided to take the different route, and they said they would rather go for the smaller battery. Now the question is, what is the result and how's the battery between the two phones? Well, I'm happy to report that for some reason on the LG G5 the battery life, despite being smaller in size, is way better than on the LG G4. The LG G4's battery life was very good. It was giving me around 4.5 hours of screen on time with Wi-Fi, and about 3 to 3.5 on 4G LTE. On the LG G5 I'm getting well over 5 hours of screen on time on Wi-Fi. I am very surprised, whether it's down to optimizations or whatever it is. They have done really well for a small battery. Like I said, 2800 mAh, powering up a powerful Quad HD screen. You can still get over 5 hours of screen on time on Wi-Fi, which is simply amazing. Like I said, I'll be discussing the battery in detail on the LG G5, guys, but let me quickly show you if I can. I've been taking quite a few screenshots over the last few weeks, and I will show you what you can do with the LG G4's battery life. So this was a screenshot I took last night, guys. This is, as you can see, it gave me 4 hours and 23 minutes of screen on time. And by the way, this was achieved on purely 4G LTE, not Wi-Fi. This is shocking. This phone can beat on 4G LTE with the Wi-Fi performance on the LG G4. Ever since the Marshmallow update on the LG G4, guys, the screen on time has been terrible. Unfortunately, it's been so severely affected that I can hardly achieve even 4 hours of screen on time, both with 4G LTE or Wi-Fi. It's simply not there as I expected. Now, I took this screenshot, guys, a few days ago. As you can see here, the battery is down to 17%, and I was using Wi-Fi and 4G LTE mix, and I only got 2 hours and 51 minutes of screen on time, which is to be honest, in my opinion, is simply not acceptable. The same phone was giving me 4 to 4.5 hours on Wi-Fi with no issues, and I was pretty happy with it. Most people with 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time with Wi-Fi would be happy, and it will last them through a full working day. Whereas now, ever since the update on the LG G4, the battery has been severely affected. Now, when the LG G5 was announced, I thought with a smaller battery we have no chance whatsoever, but LG have really surprised me, and I'm really shocked. In fact, I will show you, if I can show you. I also have a screenshot which I took earlier last week, which gives me 5 hours of screen on time. See if I can show you this really quick. Let's have a look and see. There you go. So as you can see, guys, I was using Wi-Fi, at times 4G LTE as well here and there, but you can see my total screen on time here was 5 hours and 26 minutes and battery down to 5%. Now, you never expect this kind of screen on time from a very powerful Quad HD screen and with only a 2800 mAh battery. So thumbs up to LG. Whatever they have done, whether it's the optimizations, whether it's whatever that is, somehow this phone is able to give you over 5 hours of screen on time with Wi-Fi, and it can give you 4 or maybe more screen on time hours of screen on time with even 4G LTE. So battery wise, if you're thinking of getting the LG G5 and you're slightly afraid of the smaller size, don't be. From its current state running on 6.0.1, Marshmallow is giving you very, very good screen on time. What is going to happen in the future? I do not know, guys, because often updates ruin the phones. Like I said, LG G4 also had decent battery life. Ever since the last Marshmallow update, it completely changed the battery life on the LG G4. So that's my take on it. If you're planning to upgrade on the basis of battery, you will be very happy with the LG G5. I tell you what, you never know on the LG G4 with the later update on the Marshmallow or maybe Android N coming up, you might have a slightly better battery life. But for now, from what I can see in their current states, LG G5 is definitely giving you a very good, decent screen on times on both 4G LTE Wi-Fi and a great battery life, which is very, very unexpected. Now, as far as the speaker quality is concerned, guys, I have done a detailed test already between the LG G4 and the LG G5. I'll provide you with the link down below, guys, so please do have a look. That was a dedicated speaker test video. I tested both the speakers on both the phones, playing a couple of tracks, so please do have a look and see. So I wouldn't want to discuss it any further as the video will get too long. Now, when it comes to call quality, guys, lots of my subscribers out there who follow me, they often ask me I don't discuss call quality in my versus and comparison videos. Well, I'm happy to report that both phones, I've been making lots of calls with both the phones, and both phones have got no issues whatsoever when it comes to the actual speaker quality or the call quality. Thumbs up from my side if you are a person who makes a lot of phone calls. Both phones will give you a very decent, nice quality when it comes to making phone calls. Now, the one major difference between the LG G4 and the G5 this time around is the fingerprint sensor. The fingerprint sensor on the LG G5 is great, if not the best, but the LG G4 has got no fingerprint sensor. So if you're looking to buy a phone with the fingerprint sensor, and if you have the LG G4 and you like the fingerprint sensor security, then obviously you should go for the LG G5. If you're not too fussed about it, I think even without a fingerprint sensor, you can still live happily even with the LG G4. So no major issues. Now, both the phones support SD card as well, guys. Both phones supported up to 2 terabytes. Now, the $1,000,000 question, guys, after comparing everything else now is, should you go for the LG G5 if you have the LG G4? In my opinion, for an average consumer, I would just still say no. Why? Because the LG G4 is still a very good phone. It is still extremely powerful. The hexa-core Snapdragon 828 is a very powerful chipset, 3 gigs of RAM, and that is plenty for any sort of task. LG G4 can literally play almost every game on the Play Store that I've played so far. So in terms of hardcore specs and performance is concerned, with the brilliant camera at the back as well, same cameras on the LG G5 as far as the main camera is concerned, same 16 megapixel camera with an f1.8 aperture. Also at the front, 8 megapixel camera, same as on the LG G5. So camera wise, no issues. Performance wise, no issues. Battery wise, yes. At the moment, from what I can see, the LG G5 is giving better battery life. Would it give you the same kind of battery life in future upgrades? Obviously, I can't tell. Nobody can. Only once the update arrives, then we shall see. So similarly, talking in favor of LG G4, at the moment the battery's gone down. Yes, it's not as good as it was before, but with future updates, with a 3000 mAh battery, same LG software, and I hope that the battery life on the LG G4 will improve. You can see the new skin on the new UX skin on the LG G5. It will obviously at some point come on the LG G4 because it's still a relatively newer flagship phone from last year. It's not an old phone, still a new and a very relevant phone. So when it comes to the overall performance, I would say no. The cameras, I would say no as well. Battery life, I would say yes. If you're really fussed about it, then you can. And the overall aesthetics, battery is still replaceable on both the phones. SD cards are also present. Both have standard 32 GB built-in memory as well, so no major difference there. This one has a Type C USB. This has a regular Type A USB to charge the phone. Both support fast charging, so no issues here also whatsoever. So the question is, should you upgrade from an LG G4 to an LG G5? For an average consumer, I would say no, you shouldn't. LG G4 still has got plenty to offer with a Quad HD screen, big enough battery, lots of power, and a good camera to keep you happy. If you are a geek and if you are an LG fan and you like to upgrade your phone every year, then I would say yes, go for it. You'll get a slightly better camera, you will obviously get a fingerprint sensor, you get a metal uni aluminum construction, modular approach, newer design, more comfortable to hold in the hand as compared to the LG G4, if not slightly slipperier. But in general, yes, if you're a geek, go for it. So that was a comparison between the LG G4 and the LG G5, guys. And like always, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, and please subscribe, guys, as it really helps. And I shall see you in the next video.